This is 2.9 problem set, and I'm going to start with one such as number 16 here. And a lot of stuff going on here, but we'll just take each piece one step at a time and it should be fine. So, according to PEMDAS, we do what's in the parentheses first. So we're going to do this part right there first. So we have 2 1/2 minus 1/2, and if it helps then you can put a 0 there. So 1/2 minus 1/2, it's already a common denominator, so 1/2 minus 1/2 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. So we get 2 with no fraction. So this, I'm going to rewrite this all again, is just going to be a 2. 2 1/2 minus 1/2. So really when you look at something like this, you're just taking away the 1/2 here. So you've got 2 and it's cubed. And when we cube that, we get 8. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Now we're going to do our multiplication. So we're going to multiply 1/4 times 8. So 1/4 times 8 over 1. And we can multiply 8 times 1 and get 8. 4 times 1 and get 4. 4 goes into 8 twice, or if you want to, you could do 1 over 2 times 2 and split the 8 up. Cancel those two, and you have 2 times 1 is 2 over 1, which is also the same as your 2 there. So either way works. Whichever way you feel the most comfortable with is fine. Alright, so that gives us 3/5 plus 2. Now again, I've got a fraction and I'm adding a whole number, so I can just put them together and be done. I don't have to find common denominators and add them. I can just stick them together and be done with the answer there. So that is number 16. For one like number 42, I'm not going to actually go through and solve this, but I'm just going to explain what happens here. We're going to subtract those two. So you're going to have to take your common denominators, subtract, and make it into an improper fraction, and then divide by 7/4, which means multiply by its reciprocal, and that gets rid of that. And that's pretty much it for something like 42, but because that 7/4 is on the bottom by itself, it might look a little bit tricky. When you get to ones like 43 to 52, again, using PEMDAS, you just do one step at a time. You're going to do everything on the top, combine everything on the top, combine everything on the bottom, and then if you have a fraction on the bottom, you're going to flip it over and multiply it by the fraction that you have on top. So not much different than we did in the examples. When you look at the story problems, they're pretty much just giving you the same type of problems, only in word form. So number 58, suppose your normal body temperature is 98 and 3/5 degrees. If your temperature goes up 3 1/5 degrees, so if it goes up, that means you're adding 3 1/5 degrees to that. And then it goes down, so whatever temperature it is on Monday, then it goes down on Tuesday, 1 4/5. So notice this is in the parentheses because that is the Monday temperature, your normal temperature plus 3 1/5. It goes down 1 4/5 on Tuesday, and they want to know what your temperature is. And the key thing that they're checking to see is, did you remember to put these in the parentheses here? Because if you didn't, you're going to add this, and subtract that, which you're going to get the same answer regardless, but by putting it in a parentheses here, just make sure that you're putting these two together, your normal temperature plus how high it went for Monday, and then taking your Monday temperature and subtracting your Tuesday temperature. So those parentheses are important there, not necessarily for this problem, but for later on when you do these. So just something to keep in mind when you're doing these story problems, knowing what to group together, and that's what those parentheses mean. They're grouping symbols. So I think you'll be fine with problem set 2.9 with just that little bit of help.